It's money to shit. Working that bitch. Ballin' like Swish. Diamonds wet like a fish. Pull up with them sticks. Come fuck with the clique. We fucked on your bitch. She sucking the dick.
Let's go to Jalik the leader. Let's start off with Devin Haney versus Teofimo Lopez.
Who wins? Or what's the story?
Everything. Let's talk about the history of Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, how they came up in the game, the sparring sessions, the bad blood, the undisputed fight, wherever you want to start, who wins, whatever.
Yeah, one thing I remember the little incident they had, I forget, a couple years ago. He's like, I've done this in sparring. Now we know sparring can mean a lot sometimes, or sometimes it may not mean a lot because it depends on your development. But just like in any field that you're in, if you're an artist and you go to art school and you know who the tightest artists are. If you're a rapper, you know. So it's boxing is a small circle. So Devin Haney and whatever appears that he wants to smoke. And for some reason, he's getting criticized for wanting to fight everybody and be great. They say, who you fought? Bro, he want to fight everybody. He got a belt. So that who he fought, resume talk, okay, we know that. He only 22 years old. So it does appear, and listening to Bill, that he want to smoke from Lomachenko to every style, no matter what style you got, whether you're a big puncher. I remember a few years ago, they was telling him to slow down. He was calling out Robert Easter, and they was calling him a little boy, and he was calling out Fritcher Comey. People forgot about that, so he been wanting all the smoke. So this ain't nothing new. Now Teofimo has done some great things, three good wins back to back to back. Stylistically, it's a great matchup. On paper, it looks like Teofimo, a lot of people is picking him because they think because of the wins of Lomachenko, which he doesn't fight nothing like Lomachenko. And his knockout of Comey, people probably say, oh, he's gonna win. But one thing Devin Haney has, that he has upper body movement defense and he can use his feet. Not only that, he got the confidence, and stylistically, I think Devin Haney will beat him on points, and he actually can hurt him. Now, Teofimo, I'm not sure how great his chin is, but if we're gonna talk about sparring, we got to talk about how when he got hit with a jab by Carlos Banderas and he got stunned. That's just with a jab. We know Carlos Banderas is the history behind that. But I like Teofimo, don't get me wrong, because people get so caught up in if you pick somebody to lose that you hate them. I like Teofimo, and I'm glad he's standing up. I just favor Devin Haney in the matchup. And we got to realize that he has beaten bigger names than him. I want to see true undisputed. I got Devin Haney on points, and I already put money on Devin Haney to win the fight on points. But he can hurt. People don't realize that he actually can knock out Teofimo, and Teofimo can knock him out because homeboy right hand is nice. That overhand right, Devin Haney does, and he's so defensive that Teofimo defense is not that great, bro. And he get hit with multiple right hands from Nakatani, so he can actually be knocked out. Be honest with you.
Okay. Let's go to Haplo in the boxing section. Let's go to Haplo. What do you think about Devin Haney versus Teofimo Lopez? The history, their sparring session. Who wins the fight? Undisputed unification. Give me your thoughts on it.
Not really a big fan of sparring rumors, or sparring stories, because you never know what someone's working on in any given round of sparring. You could be trying something new. You could be doing something different because it's sparring. That's where you work it out. That's where you learn and you experiment. So, just because someone says, oh, I punched so-and-so in sparring, and okay, fine. But when you actually fight, they're not going to do the same thing that they do in sparring. So, to me, that's all garbage, and you could just throw it out with the trash. As far as the two of them fighting, I really want that fight. That's on my top 5 list. We talked about that earlier. It's on my top 5. It's not number 1, but it's definitely up there. It's 2, 3, something like that of fights I want to see. And the reason for that is because I think that the WBC really blew it when they came out with that franchise thing, and they just threw a lot of confusion in the game and made it even more confusing, trying to get money and basically hurting the sport, because you can't keep throwing belts and belts and belts and belts and belts and then have a status and then change it after the fact. Like, before the fight with Loma, it was supposed to be non-transferable. Then they transferred it to him. Then after the fight, they said, no, you're the real champ, when Devin Haney is really the real champ. So to me, as far as the WBC goes, Devin Haney's the real champ, because in every other division, that WBC belt, that's the one that's recognized, and it's recognized by all the other sanctioning bodies. So that's the recognized belt. So Devin Haney is the WBC champ. Now, as far as them fighting, I see it's a tough fight, bro. Like, I really can't call it, that easily. I think Teofimo would probably beat him, but I think Devin Haney has some tools, bro. And like Jalik was just saying, like, the upper body movement and the footwork, that's going to give Teo some problems. But I do think Teo has the power, and I do think his style is a little underrated too, because look what he did to Loma. Loma was, the Matrix, bro, and Teofimo basically kept him in a box for 6 or 7 rounds, bro. So Teofimo's got skills too. It's a tough one to call. I wouldn't bet on it right now. I have to see how they look when they come in the ring. But that's about it for me.
Okay, for sure. Appreciate that. The boxing section. What about you? Devin Haney versus Teofimo Lopez. This is probably the biggest fight in boxing, undisputed. What's your thoughts on it? Who's gonna win the fight? Break it down for me.
Well, I want to talk about the resumes. People keep saying that Teofimo Lopez, he fought better people. Chances make champions, man. He had the better opportunity to fight these guys. You know what I'm saying? Everybody Devin Haney asked to fight, they didn't want to fight him. So we can't really say that. But I will say Devin Haney will beat Teofimo Lopez. I think he's too long, too slick, and I think he can get in and out faster than Lomachenko could get in and out without being scared. I think Lomachenko was scared for the first 7 rounds to get touched. And once he got touched, he was able to kind of, move forward. But I think if Devin Haney gets in there with him, I think Devin Haney beats him. I think it's going to go to the decision. I don't see Teofimo hitting him with a big shot, just because his defense is too good. But I can see him wobbling Teofimo Lopez, because we've seen Teofimo get hurt by Lomachenko. And so I just think Devin Haney will beat him.
What up, UGC Flame? What up, though, Black Horseman?
What's happening, fam?
What's good, man? We talking about Devin Haney versus Teofimo Lopez. This might be the biggest fight in boxing. Who you think gonna win this fight, and when do you think it's gonna happen? And also the history of the beef between Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez, the bad blood. Break it down for us.
Man, it's been cooking up, bro. It's been at a boiling point, and I don't want it to get to a point where it's like you got some foods cooked up, it's nice and hot, ready to eat, and you leave it out too long and it get cold. It ain't no good no more. You know what I mean? But this fight is red hot, and I'll be thinking about it. It's crazy. Like, this dude will go on platforms like Mike Tyson, Hot Boxing Podcast, and Mike Tyson is telling this dude, like, this fight is the next fight. Damn the Kambosos fight. But he like, okay, cool, you got to do that, but let's get Devin Haney on the phone. Legends want this fight. We know the numbers, the traffic that Tyson brings to the table. This should be the next big fight to happen. Who's going to win the fight? I don't know. That's why it's a mega fight. It's a fight that needs to happen, because there's so much intangibles and question marks there that we don't really know who's going to win this fight. You know what I'm saying? But as a boxing fan, I just want to see them get in the ring. You know what I mean? So that's where I'm at with it.
Jose Yepes in the building.
Shout out.
What up, though? UGC Flame in the building. Jose Yepes, join the
We
panel.
here.
We talking about Devin Haney versus Teofimo Lopez. So let's go to Black Horseman representing the UGC all day long. You feel me?
All day.
All day. So let's get it, Black. Devin Haney versus Teofimo Lopez.
Yeah, man. I was speaking on it. I mean, in what aspect?
Who wins the fight? Who's a better fighter? You know, the bad blood, the beef, the back and forth between Bill Haney and Teofimo Lopez Sr. You know, the lies coming from Teofimo Lopez and his team.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I represent True Media, man, and the lies is what really bothers me, and how this dude has changed energy over and over. When he'll say something on somebody's platform, then he go to somebody else's platform and say something else. When you said that Devin Haney was the next fight, and then now you're double talking, you go from show me something, and then now you want to throw other names in the equation that's irrelevant, when this is really the fight to make. You know what I mean? So the lies from this guy, and then saying, down talking the exhibition stuff with the YouTube, and now you're on the main event of it, and it's just clown shit when I look at it. But the fight is a big fight. I mean, is we have huge debates. It seems like no matter what topic I try to kick off on my channel, we always end up getting in fiery debates about Devin Haney versus Teofimo Lopez, and who was the real WBC champion. This guy want to be comfortable saying he undisputed with this dispute here. And like, no, we need to handle this business. You say you did take over. Let's see you take all the way over. But all we seen was you take us over to the Triller shit when you said you wasn't down with all of that. And every time we approach this Devin Haney fight, you talking about I ain't giving out handouts and weird shit. So it's frustrating as a real boxing fan that people would even say, oh man, it must be this, or you want to see him lose. No, I just want to see these dudes scrap. One dude been talking shit, the other dude been talking shit. They both seem like they want it, and they willing to get in the ring and throw down in front of everybody. Okay, cool. Let's promote that. Not, oh, this dude ain't earned the right, and this, that, and the third, and the confusion of everybody want to put on their suit and tie and fanagers and be fanagers all of a sudden. Like, when it's just a big fight and a good fight that need to happen. So, I mean, to make a long story short, I don't know who will win the fight, but I want to see it. And I think Devin Haney has the speed, the defense, the skill set, the IQ to really present a tough challenge for Teofimo Lopez. And I just honestly feel like he's hesitant about that challenge because he's really on a high horse right now, and he's loving the attention, the interviews, and all of that. But you still got to stay in there and fight the best competition and take all the way over, because you ain't did that yet, Teofimo.
For sure. Shout out to Red Glove in the chat. Let's go to my boy real quick. If somebody got some background noise, let's go to my boy Intangible Boxing in the building. What's good, Intangible? Everybody go subscribe to UGC Flame, subscribe to JFL, and make sure you subscribe to Intangible Boxing and everybody else that got a channel. Let's go to Intangible and subscribe to Jalik, the leader, of course.
So I guess the question is, what do I think about Haney versus Lopez?
Yes, sir. Devin Haney, Teofimo Lopez, the biggest fight in boxing. Everybody's talking about it.
I'd say the biggest fight in America. I wouldn't necessarily quite say the biggest fight in boxing, as neither guy has necessarily proven themselves as a crossover star. It's a good fight. Now, when it comes to the whole undisputed situation, Teofimo Lopez is obviously not undisputed, and anybody who says otherwise is a liar. Now, essentially, all the other sanctioning bodies have accepted Devin Haney's claim to the WBC title as him being the legitimate champion, and Suleiman goes back and forth on it. But people have to remember the original intent of the WBC franchise title's creation was for the purpose of essentially awarding privileges to their fighters who have represented them very well, which I use that with big quotation marks because Loma won the WBC title and held it for about 2 months before he was then elevated and made no defenses of it ever in his career amongst any of the weight divisions he had partaken in. Now, it's a belt that's been used to award privileges to fighters, meaning they can go up and they don't need to necessarily fight mandatories, and they can go up and they can become mandatory in any set weight division they choose. They can fight for any vacant title or vacant WBC title there is. It essentially gives them those types of privileges. And it's also another way for Suleiman to get more sanctioning fees, but it's not an actual world title belt. So it was, in fact, the case that Loma was upgraded to just a status, not a championship status, but simply a privilege. And Devin Haney was upgraded as a world titleist. Now, as far as who I think wins the fight, I'm going to go with the more proven quantity, Lopez.
Okay, there go one for Teofimo Lopez. Intangible boxing. Make sure you subscribe. Go ahead.
Okay. Salute to the panel, man. I'm about to cook. All right, bro. So Devin Haney will knock out Teofimo Lopez. Let me tell you why. Teofimo Lopez, he's just too a little bit open, like we saw to the body and everything. And I think Devin Haney, we saw him working with Blu-ray, and everything, who used to work with Errol Spence, Truth the Jr., who is known for his body punch. And I think Devin Haney knocks out Teofimo Lopez. Devin Haney, he's about to fight Jorge Linares. And if Teofimo Lopez still ducks Devin Haney and makes excuses, then he's officially ducking. I speak facts, man. Shout out to H Money Boxing.
Yo, appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. So let's go to Jose.
Hey, what's up, MMA?
What's happening? What's happening?
What's good? What's good? What you think about Devin Haney versus Teofimo Lopez when that fight happens? But I think somebody gave a shout out to MMA. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Salute Hoplo.
For sure.
Shout out to MMA, one of the youngest in the game. Shout out to everybody. UGC in the building. Yeah, I mean that fight, I think is gonna happen. You just gotta be a little bit patient. Both Teofimo and Haney haven't really shown any signs of ducking anybody. I know we want that fight next, but the only thing I don't agree on is it being the biggest fight in boxing right now. I don't think they have done enough to do that. I think if they go to pay-per-view, I don't think it'll do such great numbers. And I don't really know who's gonna win, but if we go off who has done more and who has been looked better, I think that's Teofimo. He has been he's fought obviously the better guys, but that's not Devin Haney's problem because he hasn't got the chance. But I think as soon as Haney steps in there with somebody that's good, maybe he could fight Loma first, then that fight will definitely be popping. I don't think it's popping right now like that, but it'll be a good fight once they fight, and I do believe they're gonna fight sooner rather than later.
But every time people talk about Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez, it starts a debate. Everybody's talking about it. You had a great debate, Jose Yepes, with Bill Haney. So I know you want to talk about that debate real quick you had with Bill, and how was that experience?
Well, that was cool. He was very professional, very respectful. I thought I didn't disrespect either. We had our differences, and we got a little bit heated here and there, but I don't think it was nothing too bad. So that was a great experience. I had never really. Well, I don't have a channel first of all, so obviously I've never really talked to a promoter like that. So that was cool. But then like Bill Haney's cool. He's like a humble guy. So when you talk to him, it feels like you're talking to like one of you guys. So that's what's cool about Bill Haney. He doesn't have like this how should I say like this asshole attitude, like like, oh, I'm better than you, I'm a millionaire, because that's what usually people like that always bring up. Oh, I got more money than you, and whoop de whoop. So shout out to Bill for being humble and having that debate with me.
For sure.
up.
That's
Humble
great
Bill.
work right there. My bad, UGC. Go ahead, my brother.
No, I was just saying that's what's up. Humble Bill. That's what's up.